Hey, what's up, my YouTube fam? This is Larry with Invest to Build Your Credit and Wealth. Today, we're going to talk about how to create a Metro 2 dispute letter, and then we're going to go over the Metro 2 dispute processes. I'm going to read some things to you out of Metro 2. We're going to kind of go over this. It's going to all play in a part. So when I go over the Metro 2 dispute letter, it's going to all play in, but you need to understand this. So when you're putting together your Metro dispute letter, you know how to put it together, the format to put it together, all of that type of stuff. So it's not going to be a long video. I'm going to dig into it, get to everything you need to understand, what you need to understand about Metro 2 and the Fair Credit Reporting Act and how they're tied together, how the dispute process actually works, and then how you should be disputing indirectly, directly, both. All of that we're going to talk about in this video. But first, we got to say thank you all for all my new subscribers that coming out to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the love, good comments, the belief in me bringing y'all real solid credit repair information so you can actually get some real disputes or know how to deal with the negative items on your credit report so you can start improving your credit. Credit is everything. Credit is the access to money. Credit is your ability to grow your wealth. Believe it, not believe it, but I guarantee you, if you carrying poor credit, you have less money in your pocket than if you carrying good credit. I promise you, that's just how it goes down. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for all my new subscribers. You like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate y'all. Let's get into this video. So the first thing I want to go over with you is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And I'm going to read something to you, and it's going to refer to non-response letters. So let me tell you this. The Fair Credit Reporting Act states that companies which furnish data to consumer reporting agencies have a responsibility to provide accurate information. You already know that. To update and correct information and to respond to notices of disputes. It's also stated that consumers have the right to know what is in their credit report. Their credit records. So how do you obtain that? You obtain that with a 609 letter. A 609 letter is what tells you that you have a right to the records that they're holding at the credit bureau, and you have a right to request the information that is being held by the credit bureaus. All right. Also, to challenge the accuracy of information and have it re-verified, updated, or removed. It also limits the time derogatory information can be retained on a credit records and assures that the consumer privacy will be protected at all times. So what this is also saying to you is if you file a dispute with the credit bureaus and say they don't respond in the 30 days, you need to put together a non-response letter. In that non-response letter, you're going to line out that you sent out a dispute at this time. And that's why sometimes some people say send it out certified so they know exactly when the credit bureaus have received it. But you could also say, if you didn't want to do that, you didn't want to spend the money, you could say, I sent out a dispute on February the 1st. And then give them about 4 or 5 days for them to receive that letter. And then you could say, given a 5-day grace period from the time I sent it to the time I received it, I should have received a response letter by March the 4th, right? It's March the 7th, you haven't received anything, you line that out in your non-response letter. You're going to put that in the body. But then you're going to also go back and dispute the same things you disputed the first time. But you want to title it as a non-response letter. And you also want to state that you are required to investigate my dispute and respond to my dispute in 30 days, which we'll go over that in a little bit. So the other thing you need to look at is consumer dispute processes. The Fair Credit Reporting Act guarantees consumers the right to dispute information that's been previously reported to consumer reporting agencies. This is where you look in section 611, which is investigation, because it's 611I actually for investigation. And then there's section 623 that goes toward the original creditor, consumer, for furnishing accurate information. Those are the two most powerful sections when disputing, right? To continue on, the consumer may initiate his or her dispute directly with the consumer reporting agency, a reseller of consumer reports, or directly with the data furnisher. Regardless of the source at which the dispute originates, the data furnisher must respond. So for me, I like going after the data furnishers, right? Because I know there's going to be a live person looking at this in their credit department, right? Because they don't want no violations. They don't want to be sued, right? And they're not getting an influx of dispute letters like the credit bureaus are. So yes, I still like to send the dispute letters to the credit bureaus, but I want to go after the original creditors also. And you have a right to do that, and they must respond to your dispute. So we're going to talk about disputing with a collection agency and not letting the collection agency confuse your dispute with the validation letter. And we're going to talk more about that. Now, if you want to know more about it, you want to see the Federal Trade Commission's interpretation letter of July 1999. And I'll put the hyperlink in the description if you want to go in and you want to read that. The other thing you want to look at, the law also mandates a deadline for the completion of the investigation. Remember, I told you we'll talk about this a little later. Review the reporting of the investigation results. Per the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the consumer dispute investigation must be completed within 30 days. 45 days for the FACT Act report. Some people say, what is the FACT Act report? It is the Fair, Accurate Credit Transaction Act. And all that is they're allowing you to pull your free credit report every 12 months. That's all that is. The next thing, we're going to talk about the ACDV workflow, right? And I want to read something to you. So when a consumer contacts the consumer reporting agency with a dispute, the agency transmits the disputed information and, if applicable, one or more images of relevant consumer provided documents, meaning the consumer, you provided documents along with your dispute letter through eOscar. So they're supposed to be transmitting this information through eOscar to the original creditor. The data furnisher accesses eOscar and retrieves the disputed data in any associated document images. So they're supposed to be sending your images in along with eOscar. When the data furnisher signs in the eOscar, he's going to see the Metro 2 language that eOscar transmitted through there, right? It's not the dispute codes. That's the old way. The new way is they're going to take the Metro 2 language. They're going to send that through eOscar with any relevant documents for your dispute. This is what's supposed to happen. Now, I'm going over what's supposed to happen. The data furnishers retrieve the disputed data in any associated document image. A possible exception to this process is when the consumer reporting agencies update the disputed item based on information provided by the consumer, i.e. police report. In this case, a dispute may not be transmitted via ACDV. The data furnisher researches the dispute account, transmit the response back to the original credit reporting agency back through eOscar. If the information is verified as accurate reported, the response goes only to the original consumer reporting agency. So if there's no changes and it's just verified, it just goes back to the original reporting agency, right? The response goes only to the original computer. Hey, I lost my place. If the information is modified or deleted, eOscar automatically sends a response to the original consumer reporting agency and send carbon copies to any other consumer reporting agencies with which the data furnisher's registration is active on eOscar. So if they're active on eOscar with TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, any modifications, deletions should go to all three, right? That's very important. It goes to all three because it's letting the other creditor saying, hey, we deleted this account because the information is inaccurate. We're putting you on notice that this information was transmitted to us inaccurate. If you have inaccurate information, you should be deleting this off your credit report. Same thing with modifications. We received information that this account needed to be modified. If this account needs to be modified based on the information I send you, you must modify it. This is where you get them. If you've seen a change in one and those other credit bureaus have not changed that information and it doesn't match with the information from the original consumer credit reporting agency that you disputed with, that's an issue. That shows that there is a Metro 2 violation and they're now following the Metro 2 dispute process. All right, so there is a note that says responding to dispute varies from automatic data reporting because when replying to a dispute, a data furnisher may require to update historical account history, dates, and other fields may need to be adjusted. For that reason, in some cases, data furnishers may not be able to follow the guidance published in the credit reporting guide, which is intended for regular monthly updates to previous reporting. So that was just a note. Continue on with the dispute process. The originating consumer reporting agency also notifies the data furnishers via OSCAR of any modifications or deletions as a result of the dispute investigation. That's kind of what we're going back to. Now, this is still continuing on with the consumer dispute process. The ACDV, the automatic carbon copies, if a data furnisher modify or delete an account in response to a consumer reporting agency's generated consumer dispute, eOscar will send carbon copies to the dispute and response to each of the consumer reporting agencies with which the data furnisher's register is active in eOscar, and we talked about that. These copies help to preempt future disputes, thus reducing the data furnisher's cost. Now, another process that you need to look, we talked about the ACDV. Now we're going to talk about the AUD data process via eOscar. The intent of eOscar and the AUD process is to provide the consumer reporting agency with the request to correct or delete the consumer account through eOscar. eOscar may not use or add or create an account or to provide updates to a consumer personal identifiable information. So now this is saying the consumer, not the consumer, the data furnisher needs to make adjustments or deletions or modifications. They're going to use the AUD, the Automated Universal Data Process via eOscar, and they're going to send that back to the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus are going to make the necessary changes on whatever modification. So you need to make sure when you're looking at your credit report and you get something back and it says it was updated, which is modified, you look at that update and then you look at your credit report, see what was updated, look at it. Don't rush through it. Look at what it was before. Look at what it changed. Then you're going to go over to your other ones. You're going to look and see if any of that has changed. If they changed something here and they sent that information there, if they did not send carbon copies that have it changed, Metro 2 violation. You can start proving that because you don't see any changes on your other credit bureaus, and they're mandated to send carbon copies with these changes. So you have to pay attention to what changes happen when you get your credit report back, so you can look at the other credit reports to see, did they make necessary changes? Now, if there were no modifications, no changes, they do not have to send carbon copies to the other credit bureaus. But if there were any modifications, any change, deletions, those carbon copies need to go over to the other credit bureaus to let them know there was a change, there was a modification, there was a deletion. The information that we received was inaccurate and prompted us to delete this account. You need to look at that same information, and then if it doesn't meet the standards, you need to delete this account. We're keeping you updated, and so on. When that doesn't happen, now you're finding out there's a Metro 2 violation. Okay? So hopefully I'm making that sound legitimate, because I got it all right here. It's all right here in my notes. You see it in yellow. The ADU process allowed data furnishers to modify existing account information or to delete the entire account from the consumer report. A data furnisher may update a consumer's account information by submitting an automated universal data record. Again, and they send that to the credit bureaus. Now, features of the AUD. The ability to send to multiple credit reporting agencies, each data furnisher indicate an affiliation with one or more of the consumer reporting agencies at the time of registration. If a data furnisher modifies, deletes, and I know you hear this over and over again, but they're a little bit different. If the data furnishers modify and delete an account using the AUD process through eOscar, sends the updated to the consumer reported agencies that the data furnisher designated when it submitted the AUD. Now, I have a Metro 2 letter that I wrote up, and I'm gonna go over it with you so you can get a grasp of what a Metro 2 dispute letter looks like. And this is a Metro 2 dispute letter going to the data furnisher. I'll have another video doing where it's going to the credit bureaus, okay? So we start off, we're gonna do LVNV funding as the collection account. Underneath their name, and their address, I put the account number, and then I put one of the violations. I put no original creditor name, K1/K2 violation, your name, address. And then in the subject, I said Metro 2 guideline reporting violations. I have attached my credit report showing the violations, right? And then I put, because this is going to a collection agency, and they be trying to act crazy like they don't know what you're sending in. So in big bold, I said, this is not a validation letter. Because I don't want them thinking I'm trying to validate this account. I am not trying to validate this account. You've already got this account. I'm not trying to validate it. I already did that, right? Now, I want you, because I'm talking about Metro 2, and I want to know about why you're reporting Metro 2 violations on my credit report. So this is not a validation letter. And I put that big bold with a line underneath it. Then I go to my next section. I say this is to submit evidence of Metro 2 violations that are reported on my credit report from LVNV. Any Metro 2 violations and Section 623, 1681S violations can be subject to legal action. I have a right to receive accurate reporting under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Then I go down into my areas of violations. I say there are a number of Metro 2 violations that are reporting on my credit report. Here is the list below. The first one, there's a K1, K2 violation, missing the original creditor name that is reported on my Equifax credit report. Violation 1. Then I put LVNV funding, and number 2 is reporting a past due balance of $1,000 on Equifax, but no past due balance on TransUnion or Experian credit report. This section under Metro 2 states this section should be 0 or blank. I have submitted a copy of the Metro 2 violation. Okay. Then number 3, LVNV funding is reporting a date of last payment. You are a debt buyer. You cannot report a date of last payment. This section is blank based on Metro 2 guidelines. How do you report the date of last? How did you report a date of last activity of 11/1/2019, but you didn't open the account till 5/1/2020? This is inaccurate reporting. Then I go down into my statements. I say, please delete this account and send carbon copies to all credit reporting agencies you are registered with eOscar. I have disputed these items with the credit bureaus with TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax to receive a verified response. I am sending in a method of verification to further prove the Metro 2 violation. There was clearly no real investigation completed. I am doing a direct dispute with LVNV Funding Management to correct the inaccurate reporting, and delete this account. Metro 2 says modifications, deletions is mandated to send carbon copies to any other consumer reporting agencies with which the data furniture is registered in eOscar. I would challenge LVNV funding to see if they are following the Metro 2 reporting guidelines. LVNV funding, you must respond to my dispute stated by the Federal Trade Commission. Failure to respond will cause me to seek a consumer lawyer to see my options about these Metro 2 violations that are reporting on my credit report. So that is my dispute letter under Metro 2, going to a direct dispute to the collection agency. So if you have any questions, if I didn't make anything clear, please shoot me an email. You know the deal. Shoot me an email. My email's in the description. I will put that link, hyperlink into the Fair Trade Commission. Again, all this information is in my master dispute package. If you want to know about this information and you wanted to have it, shoot me an email. I got you. In 2 weeks, I keep saying in 2 weeks, I'm going to be releasing the updated book version of the master dispute digital, so you can have, I have somebody working on my website starting after I move. And I will be shooting a little videos so y'all can, through my moving process, moving in my new house. I'm moving from Dallas back to the Houston area. Excited about that. So you may not see any videos after tomorrow. We still got our live on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I'm going live, but after Wednesday, I may not be back on here to the following Wednesday because I'm moving. So you haven't lost me, and I definitely have some more good information for y'all. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Please like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Continue to love. I'm here for y'all. I'm here to help y'all. If you need a free credit analysis, you want me to look at your credit report for free, I'll look at it. Just shoot me an email. Either give me your own report, or I can send you a link so you can download Identity IQ. We can look at it together. And then I can tell you what you need to do. And if you need me to help you, or you want to purchase the master dispute package, whatever it is, I'm here for you. So I appreciate y'all time. Thank you. and I'm out.